allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Mike Cunningham.
Here.
Kurt Schultz.
Here.
Jennifer Eaton. Here. Herman Ferguson.
Here.
David Walker.
Here.
Zach Tucker.
Here.
Pam Loeffler. Here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If there's no changes to the agenda, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Support. It's been motioned and supported to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, that motion carries. Next, approval of the consent agenda. Public hearing and regular board meeting minutes from March 7, 2023. Treasurer's report, February 28th, 2023. Clerk's warrants and bills, March 23, 2023.
So moved.
Support. Been motioned and supported to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Next, communications. We have 5 items. We have the Livingston County Sheriff's Report, February 28, 2023. City of Fenton Fire Department Annual Report for 2022. The Planning Commission approved meeting minutes, November 2, 2022. The Planning Commission approved meeting minutes from December 13, 2022. And the Planning Commission meeting synopsis, March 14, 2023.
So moved. Support.
It's been motioned and supported to place and receive communications 1 through 5 on file. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Public remarks. If anybody would like to make a comment about something on tonight's agenda, feel free to come up and address the board, please.
Scott Dietrich, White Lake Road. I don't want to beat up on anybody, I don't want anybody mad, but on the budget proposal, I mean, I know we've crossed this bridge before when we went the sidewalk issue. If we're gonna budget money, I mean, I'm still gonna say, to get an engineer to give us a ballpark figure of what it's gonna cost to do a sidewalk. I mean, I got a real estate license, I got a builder's license. I mean, I've never seen anybody get an engineer to tell us what it's gonna cost if they didn't have to get 3 bids. We gotta be smarter with our money, $4,000. I mean, I thought, I've said it, I don't wanna fight, I'm just saying, I just thought it was $4,000 we could use somewhere else. Now, I know the girls want to mention, my wife watched, she doesn't get involved in stuff. But she was watching a couple of the meetings, and the girls here mentioned we should need some bushes around, and everybody, she was kind of amazed by how the guys kind of acted when they asked about the bushes, and kind of shot them down. And my wife said, wow, and she doesn't get involved in stuff like this. So, but if we're gonna do the budget, let's see if we can, I don't know if it might be late, but the ladies wanted to put some bushes in, and it looks like crap down through here. And I think, you know, you guys can bend a little bit for the ladies, and let's get some bushes. So, and let's clean this place up a little bit, because it looks like crap down through here. I know you did a good job cleaning it out, but we need to get something on this building and made it look a little more presentable. So Jennifer and Pam, my wife, said you guys did a good job, and she was pulling for you. So, see you later.
Anyone else?
Jennifer, Fuller Drive. So I have a question about the budget, and I don't see it on there anywhere. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but how did we use the $500,000, the COVID money from last year? And I see that we've also received the $500,000 this year, so we've got over $1 million. Is there somewhere in the budget that shows what's been spent or what it's allocated for?
Roads. We spend it on roads, we're spending it on roads.
So has a certain amount been spent on roads already? Is in there? Like, does it show that that's COVID money?
Yeah, it was shown in our budget. So.
Okay. Thank you, I appreciate the answer. Last week's, I don't know if you could, this isn't on the, well, it's about the agenda, it's about the lack of something being on the agenda. Last week's planning commission held an excellent workshop. In fact, all their meetings have been really excellent lately, very well run and very informative. At that meeting though, the subject of large-scale solar facilities was discussed as it pertains to the existing ordinance. I know you guys all know this, but I'm just repeating it for anyone listening. According to the county's review of the ordinance, which was received 5 weeks ago, and the Planning Commission's discussion last week, they said that this should probably be a big issue for our township to get settled right away. So I know that that was the intent, that the Planning Commission was going to approach the board. And I'm just wondering, I didn't see it on the agenda for any discussion or anything tonight. And if people are wondering what that is, that was the Planning Commission suggesting that a moratorium be placed on utility scale solar facilities to allow time to make changes to the ordinance. And so I don't know if anybody, if you can answer where that's at or if it's being considered.
It's in progress.
Okay. All right, well then I'd also like to also inform the board too that I've done a lot of research on this, and the Planning Commission has said that we have to, not necessarily the whole commission, but it's been mentioned during the meetings, that we have to accept solar, utility scale solar. That's absolutely not true. There's communities all across Michigan that are denying it and saying no, and successfully saying no. And I was just out in Cohocton and what's the name, Conway Township. If any of you haven't been out there, it was reminiscent of the asphalt plant. It is littered with signs. So they're fighting it there also, but they feel that their leaders have not done enough to, and that's why I'm glad that the ordinance is being looked at, because it needs to be tightened up. But I think that the residents of Tyrone Township it'll be a big fight. They don't want this. I know that they don't. So I hope you guys are getting that ordinance. I hope it's going to get tightened up right away, and I would appreciate if there was some information given to the public to know. I hear you say that it's in process, but it would be nice to know as a lawyer looking at it, is a moratorium going to be set soon? As far as I know from what I've read, that's not a difficult thing to do. So, thank you.
Hello. I'm in Austin. I called you Mike last week, I guess, and I saw that adjusting budget was on the agenda for tonight, so I figured I'd come. I don't know if Mike shared why I called last week, or if everybody is aware or not of the discussion of what took place in the Hartland School District Board Meeting last month, or the beginning of this month. And I told Mike here that, you know, Mr. Hughes, the superintendent, towards the end of the meeting did suggest that the board members in the community reach out to the townships, surrounding townships, whether it be here, Genoa, Hartland, to talk about budgeting to provide for school safety, because that was a big issue during the meeting. And I guess that's why I called Mike, to see if there could be any kind of discussion about that, whether, you know, that be some coordinated effort between here, Hartland, any other communities, or not even necessarily saying, yes, here we could allocate this amount of funds for the school, but just to put it on their radar that, yeah, there's a lot of community members that do care about this, and I don't want our feet to get dragged out for months and months, because one of the things that was, one of the board members did do some research and came up with a dollar amount for providing actual security in every school, which would have came to an amount of like $750,000 a year. And that's when Mr. Hughes said, well, that's a lot of money, and to be honest, it was kind of insulting to even bring up the dollar amount when we're talking about kids' safety. But he did suggest and recommend that we reach out to our township, so that's why I'm here. And not even necessarily allocating, you know, a dollar amount, saying, well, this is what we're willing to do, but say something, reach out if there's any communication with the school board or Mr. Hughes. Hey, we're willing to help, whether it be either here, Fenton schools, any other school that, you know, in this township or that it's a part of, to somewhat put some pressure to get it done, because another board member did say, well, I'm glad we're gonna take our time on this. Again, to me, that's kind of insulting, because there have been incidents that's happened in the Hartland School District lately, just in the last few months, actually going back to September, which is somewhat of a personal issue, but, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's too much of a priority for a lot of people, and I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to do. It could be a community effort, you know, even just to say again, hey, we're willing to put in $100,000, whatever. And then that's pretty hard for Hartland or Mr. Hughes or any of the districts to say no. To me, it's like, if you're willing to say no to that, that pretty much means that it's off the table. We don't really care what happens in the school. You know, and I'm not gonna argue that Hartland doesn't have more than enough money to take care of that on their own. I think they do, and they should, and that should, the first time this topic came up months ago, it should have been handled then. And I wouldn't even be here asking or talking to you guys, but, so as far as the approving the budget, you know, whether or not, again, there could be some type of communication between Hartland and you guys, or any other surrounding districts, just to put it on the radar, and maybe put some pressure on them to actually get something done and get something moving, rather than sitting on it until next school year and waiting for something else to happen. And again, if anybody doesn't know what happened in my last meeting, I really encourage you to go take a look at it. It was a 4-hour meeting, and that's it for now, I guess. So, thank you guys.
Mike, just a quick thought. I know I didn't use my 3 minutes. He brings up a good point. We got that COVID money. If we could get some of that money, a little bit of that money to the school, if every community could do that. I know they're gonna redo the doors this school, I heard that. So I think a little bit of money towards the township, from the townships, if we got it, if we could squeeze a little bit to help out the schools. I know you could talk to the superintendents, but he's probably got a good point.
I guess the only other thing I'll just add real quick is, I guess part of a model of what the board was looking at was, I guess, Brighton starting this year, I guess. I'm not really 100% sure, but they did hire, I don't know if it was all private security or through Livingston County that they contracted or not, but Brighton did get it done. So.
Anyone else? Being none, we'll go ahead and move on to our agenda. New business, item number 1, adjust the 2022-23 agenda. We have 2 areas that we need to adjust. We need to, we have a current balance of $80,000 that we need to move up from $49,000 in the general fund. That was the assessing department. We kept our retiring assessor on a little bit longer to make sure that our new assessor was trained. So we need to raise that from $49,504 to $81,000. And then the Shannon Glen Rubbish Removal Fund, which is a special assessment for trash, from $5,474 to $6,000.
So, support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the budget amendments for 2023 and approve. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Next, moving on to item number 2 is a discussion regarding the township resident email service subscription. Pam, you wanted to speak to that? Thank you.
Okay, so I've given each one of you this little pamphlet that says Mail Chimp, Tyrone Township email subscribers on there. And what this essentially is giving us input on how many people open the emails that are sent out, how many actually click on it. So at the top I have the audience number as 726. That was for this board meeting. That's typically where we land, is between 726 and 730. Sometimes we have people subscribe, some unsubscribe. Okay, so out of the 726 for this board meeting packet agenda that was sent out, emailed, 45.8% opened it. 2.1% actually clicked on it and went to the website to see the agenda. So in a larger picture, we have roughly 12,000 residents. To put that into perspective, this number was 2.8% of the township population that received this email and opened it. The following, another breakdown for the synopsis for planning commission. There's no link on that, so there's no clicks for that. 326 people opened that, and that's 44.8%. Taken into the township population size, that's 2.7% of the population opened that. And I'll just do a couple more. The agenda for the planning commission workshop this month, 343 people opened it. 2.7% actually clicked on it, went to the website, looked at the agenda. That's 2.9% of the township population. The last one, I'll give a number for the planning commission synopsis meeting this month. 342 opened that. That's 47%. 1.6% clicked on it. Total population, that's 2.9% again. And going back in your sheet here, I've covered all the way from January, beginning of January, up to now, all of our meetings between the planning commission workshops, agendas, synopsis, board packets. We've never reached 50% of those 726 people. So the concern now is that there's a price tag attached. It's $26.50 monthly. Annually, that comes to $318. So roughly,
And it was free before.
yes, it was free before, and now it will cost $318 a year. So that's roughly $1 a person that is actually opening these emails. To put it in another perspective for everyone. So that's where we're at with the price tag now.
And this information that goes out on the emails is also found on the website?
Yes, yes. When people click on it, all these clicks that you see, they're clicking on that link in their email. That takes them to the website. So it's a little redundant, if you want to say that, because it's posted on the website.
So anybody wanting to know that information, it's found on the website as
Right,
well?
right. It's
So it's
all of
this
it.
is just double duty?
Yes, it's a little redundant in posting.
It was a
this
courtesy while it was
information.
free, now it's costing something.
Right, and that's why I'm bringing it to you, is that now there's a price tag. So what are we willing to pay? And it's important to look at those numbers, because there is staff that is working to do this, and we're paying them, and now they're doing it twice, so how many people are looking at it? I think that's important to take that into consideration, as well as the price tag. Did anyone have any questions about the packet that I gave you with my numbers, or?
Is there any way to do it differently and have it be free? I assume not.
Yes,
No,
Okay.
yes, there is.
not
Do you
for
know how many-
726 subscribers.
Yes, there
Do we
is.
know how many of these 726 subscribers are good emails?
Yes, if you, it's not, I didn't put it on this sheet because it's hard to drag out a report. In order to get an actual report, I have to pay money for it.
Okay.
So that's why this is looking a little wonky on here. I tried to get it all in
But I'm saying
Excel.
if Lucy Schwartz died 3 months ago,
It will tell you, like, when we send out 726, there's never been more than 2 that
okay.
have bounced
This is
back.
not the state voter rules.
So what I'm saying is potentially some of these people that don't click, maybe, they've abandoned their email or stuff like that too.
Or they're getting
So-
it elsewhere.
Right, but in terms of what bounces back to us, it's.
So you
for-
removed the ones that bounce back then?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but it's never been more than 2 in the past year that I was able to go back and look at.
How many have we added since the first of the year?
Well, this month we, 3 subscribed, 1 subscribed, 2, so that's, let me see here, 3, 4, 5, we had 5 subscribed, then in February, 1 unsubscribed, January, 2 new subscribers, 5 unsubscribers, then January, another date in January, the beginning, 4 unsubscribes.
So it's not like we've had a mass of people join recently or leave recently.
No, no. You pick up a couple, drop a
So it's
couple, pick up a couple.
fairly static.
Yeah.
But it's still fairly consistent, right?
Mhm.
And remind me, how long was it free?
How long has it been free?
Yeah.
Long before I got here.
Since it used to be
15,
through our
16
website, and then when we changed over our new website, we went to Mail Chimp, which was free. And so it's always been free.
That's always been free, but just now they're charging.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is it because of the number of or recipients not users? That there's charges, or is there always a charge?
We went over the
Yeah.
number.
Well, there's always a charge.
Okay.
They did go from the free version to this, yeah.
Right, and this
And we're at the
cost,
minimum, yeah. right
this
now, that's
cost
the
is
minimum.
for exactly what we're doing now. We can have up to 10 emails per month. That's what we did in the past, and that's what this cost is for. If we wanted 20 emails per month, it would cost us $60.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
And so-
top end of the.
The contract's for 150, or for 1,500, right?
People.
For 1,500 each, for 1,500 subscribers.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, so does the price go up?
after that, yeah.
In essence, are they billing per person for 726, or are we could have 726, or we could have 1499, and we'd still pay $26?
Right, with the 10 emails per month.
So we could double the number of people and still not pay more. It would be the same price.
Right,
Is what I
right.
mean.
Yes.
So maybe I'm missing something, but for the 726 roughly that were, am I right?
Yeah, yes, that's correct.
726? Yeah, I mean, for the 726 that are participating, that seems like remarkably inexpensive to maintain that level of contact with them. Yes, no? You know, buck a person.
Well, it is, but I think the question is that it's available in two or another way.
So your issue
And
is the
she-
fact that it's redundant as opposed to reminding them to go
Redundant,
with that?
and
Okay.
should the township then be paying for it for only a small group of people?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we have 12,000 residents. Out of the 726 that are signed up, only less than half even open the
Right,
link,
you don't even know.
and less than 2% or 2% or less even click on it to look at it.
Okay.
So just, I think Pam's asking if it's cost efficient for
Well,
a township to keep.
I don't like
paying when it's
making,
available.
I don't like making decisions for majority of 700 when there's 12,000 residents. But would it be feasible to just, when you sign up the contract, you have to pay the whole year, or can you just do it month to month?
Month to month.
You know, maybe keep it for one more month and then possibly look at finding another service that's free?
You've looked into.
Do you know how much time you spend on just the email portion of this? Is that an onerous amount of time, or are we just saying, you know, this is a 10-minute thing and all I have to do is click twice and it goes out to everybody?
Right, well, it's never that easy.
Okay.
It's never that simplistic, and it does take a significant amount of time doing both of them.
A couple hours a week?
I would say an hour or so.
There's so many other things involved in it, so
Well,
it's
that's-
like, yeah.
To put a timer on everything,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
and you're back and
No,
forth.
no,
there.
I wasn't
Yeah.
looking to say maybe she gets an extra break during the week, but,
Shouldn't take a break.
you know, you always try to look at things from the aspect of what it costs you to deliver a service. And if we're tying up somebody's time who could be doing something else,
Right.
On top of paying
is
for
it worth it to do this?
duplicate service.
Right.
I mean, I'm all for communicating with people, but one, it's redundant, and two, it's not being made use of. And it takes some time to do it.
I think when we started it, when it started, we hoped that everybody would sign up. But that just wasn't the case.
I think your point about the number of users is a good one too, because we're paying for way more than what we're actually using. I mean, we're paying for 15,000 and we're, or 14,999 and we're, getting 760. There might be another service that doesn't, maybe has a lower rate for a smaller number of users, but I actually have no idea. So,
Well, let's keep it for another month and see if you can find another service to do for free. I mean, if you're looking for suggestions, that would be my suggestion.
And it's easy to use. It's not labor intensive.
Yeah, right, that's easy, and both sides, easy for both sides to use.
Yeah, because a lot of time you'll get few ones that'll bombard people with ads, and I don't wanna do
That's
that.
the last thing we wanna do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we exhausted with that discussion? Moving on to item number 3, PEG coordinator salary for 2023-2024.
It's on the back page of your packets. So, pay coordinator, salary is divided up on all the communities. The school districts all pay a portion of the salary. In 21, the salary, Brandon was our coordinator and he put his own salary down to 15,000 because he wasn't going out to the schools, and given the time that was needed to do it. That was his way of now stepping down. The fact board, which I am on, we've interviewed a couple more people, and we think it is wise for us to put the salary back up to 25,000 because you're asking for someone's time in all 3 school districts and all the municipalities. And so we decided as a board to go back up to the 25,000 because it's hard to get someone to commit to that 15,000 mark.
Okay.
So,
50,000 is nothing.
right, and our amount of this 25,000 is only $2,883, $2,883.53. So,
And this is all pass-through revenue, right? This
Yes.
is all.
Yes.
This is not,
This comes from.
my point is, this is
Yes.
local resident tax base, this is all pass-through funds that come from the pay grant, right?
yes,
Correct.
yep. From all-
We're effectively nothing more than the fiscal agent of that money, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't,
That is correct.
and we obviously can't use it for anything else.
No, that's
Okay.
right.
And it's always within budget.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And the pay coordinator, if you don't know, for those who don't know, they go to each of the schools, they work with the video, audio, photography classes, get what they need, show them how to use equipment, help them order, make up their grant request.
Keep it up and running.
Keep it up and running, yep, and if the, let's say cameras aren't used in Fenton schools and Linden needs cameras, then they take them from one school and move them over, so they're not sitting there dormant and nobody's using them.
Don't they help with the annual inventory?
Yep, keep up on the inventories and dispose of old, outdated equipment.
Excess and obsolete.
Yeah, from my
It's
old,
no longer supported.
from my old school board days, they earn whatever they get paid,
Yes.
because it's a lot more than just the hours that they spend there, so.
Exactly.
We're
They're a
looking
big
for-
help to the children too, and, helping them use that equipment
Right.
and run that equipment.
Yeah, no, they definitely earn every dime they get, so. You looking for a motion or a resolution? or-
Yep, just a motion.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve PEG salary, for 2023-2024. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, that motion carries. We have no more new business, we have no miscellaneous business. Public comment, if anybody has a public comment, come on up.
Marcia Dix, on that drive. When you guys were talking about emails, and this may or may not be true, but because I'm kind of old school, but someone told me nobody uses emails anymore. How hard would it be to have people, if they wanted, what's cool about it is, just a reminder as a text on your cell phone. meeting such and such a date, agenda on our website, meeting canceled, just so they know, because I think that's basically what people look. So I don't know if that's even a possibility that, or a cost anymore, but it just seems like it would be a wang bang. That's not, do what?
Like that. I said, I
Oh,
don't
they
know.
have services that do that.
But I don't know if it costs.
Oh, Lord,
Yeah,
they
there's a price
absolutely have
tag.
services that
Yeah.
do that. I get
Does it
scans of them
cost a
every day,
lot?
trust me. so.
The cost, I don't know.
I don't know, but.
Not too much is free anymore, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's any good anyway.
But anyway, just so they know when the meeting's gonna be, and then they can go to the website for info. Anyway,
Just a reminder, yeah.
just a thought.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
The only problem we're gonna have with get rid of the emails, you got the ones that do read it. As soon as you turn it off, you know, the ones that don't are gonna pop on, they're gonna call up screaming. And I know I've talked to some people up at the press before, they don't have to read so many papers. So we're not getting information out through there, and you know, like we want to. But now that cram all this stuff up just leads me to believe that when we do surveys, we're not getting a really good ballpark figure on how the community want what they want. They don't want to interact.
Right.
And the problem is I've taken real estate like classes, and builders licensing classes. You learn the verbiage, you learn legal terms. People don't understand that stuff. And a lot of people come here and they just comment, they don't get any answers unless they come and talk to Mike. And they still don't understand. So I mean, do we as a community try to educate people better? Try to get them to understand stuff better? So that we want people more active in the community. But I don't know, it's just get rid of it, but I can't believe we can't find some places that are gonna do it for free. So, but if it is, it's like Dave said, it's $1 a person, and you got people using it, and we got a couple, I don't know, they're typing it up on a computer for the agenda for the night to print it. Is it just another button to push to put it over to the email? It's already typed up. So, I mean, I don't understand why that should be much of a problem. But I'm not a computer geek, so I don't know that. But like I said, as a township, we need to maybe try to be a little more transparent, try to educate people more. And some people come here and just feel uncomfortable, and they don't feel like they're getting answers. I understand. I mean, you think I'm arguing? I'm not arguing like you guys, okay? But I just sometimes it's, we want to get people to understand what's going on. Thanks, guys.
I think maybe one of the things you want to ask yourself is, why are people not clicking? And you all know that I've got Tyrone Township Watch, and it's a public page, and I get regularly 300 people will open it up and read. So maybe you're just not reaching out in the right way, I don't know. But I would hate for you to see you guys get rid of that. I think it's, communication with the public is really important. And if we can spend $4,000 to just find out that, yeah, sidewalk's gonna look okay, I think we can spend a little bit of money per month reaching out to the public, is my opinion. Why you're using Mail Chimp, I don't know. I mean, I've worked with energy companies where we do community outreach, and we did the emails ourselves. And to Scott's point, you've already composed the email. If it's taking, I don't understand why it would take 2 hours to, maybe there's new processes or something, but if you've got to create the email anyway, right? You've got to create that whole agenda. It's done. So whether you have MailChimp do it, or you send it out in 4 different batches of emails, it can be done, and it doesn't have to cost money. So there's a way to do it. And I don't understand businesses that use, especially for a small amount of people like that, the subscription that you're saying, to use something like MailChimp, you don't need to do that.
Anyone else? All right. Oh yeah, come on up.
Short one. I mean, I would assume being Mail Chimp is kind of the top of the line, but are we sure that both mobile users and desktop users are hitting those numbers? Because if someone's opening on mobile, which is where most people use it,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
again, I would think Mail Chimp's got it covered. I've been.
They do, these numbers that I've taken,
Okay.
they track, I can see everybody who's
You can
opened
see
it,
the-
everyone who's clicked on it,
Okay.
their names, their emails, all of it,
Okay.
both mobile and desktop.
Perfect. Good. It's a big part of it. There are other alternatives. MailChimp is what we use. I was in engineering business before, but there are a good handful. So I kind of support at least seeing what else we can do. But it is difficult. There's a lot of emails. It sounds like. So,
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, since we have no more public comment, I'll entertain the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A motion is supported to adjourn the meeting. All in favor,